The Stranger in the Basement. Part 1. They said the house was empty. Sometimes the scariest things aren't ghosts. They're the things, or the people, hiding in plain sight. Watching, waiting, and blending so well into the background that you never see them coming. Lena and Marcus had been looking for a house for months. City prices were sky high, so they looked further out until they found it. A quiet neighborhood, 3-bed semi, big garden, full basement. And for some reason, priced way below market value. Marcus called it a blessing. Lena wasn't so sure. There was something about the way the agent rushed past the basement door. Old boiler, nothing exciting, he said, laughing nervously. On their first night, after the boxes were unpacked and the wine was open, Lena decided to check it out. The basement. It was dim, cold, and still, no spiders. No dust. In fact, it didn't feel abandoned. It felt lived in. A folded blanket on a crate. A half-empty bottle of water. And then, the smell. Not rot. Not mold. Just human. "Babe, you're overthinking it," Marcus said. He always did that, logical. Calm. He said maybe the old owners forgot to clean properly. Maybe one of the workers left their stuff. Lena wanted to believe that. But when she touched the toothbrush in the corner, it was wet. She looked at the light bulb again, still warm. But the power had just been turned back on that afternoon. That night, around midnight, Lena woke up. Marcus was snoring. The house was silent. Except for one sound, knock. Knock, knock. 3 slow knocks, coming from directly below the bed, from the basement. She told Marcus in the morning. He said it was the pipes. She said it didn't sound like pipes. It sounded like a signal. For the next few days, small things kept happening. The fridge door opened, blankets slightly moved. Lena thought she was imagining it until she saw the cat. It sat outside the basement window, staring for hours. Eyes wide, frozen like it saw something Lena couldn't. Then came the night Lena couldn't ignore. 2:07 a.m., another knock, this time louder. This time mated with breathing. She crept down the stairs. Basement door closed, but she swears she saw it move. Just slightly, as if someone behind it had just stepped away. They thought the house was empty. They thought the basement was just a room. But Lena was beginning to realize someone never left. And now they were awake. This is just the beginning. Watch out for part 2. He's still down there, coming soon. Subscribe to Beyond Filmz for the next chapter. The Stranger in the Basement, part 2. He's still down there, recap. Previously, on The Stranger in the Basement, Lena and Marcus moved into what they thought was a dream home. But dreams sometimes twist into something else. Lena began hearing things, one feeling watched, and deep in the basement or when someone was knocking. She tried to ignore it, tried to explain it away, but what she found in that darkness proved one thing: they were never alone. Part 2. It started with the phone footage. Shaky, grainy, the kind of video you scroll past on the internet. But this wasn't a prank, this was real. Lena had left her phone recording overnight, facing the basement door. At 2:13 a.m., something moved. The doorknob twisted. The door slowly closed. From the inside, frame by frame, she watched it. A pale hand and long fingers, discolored skin, reached out, gently gripped the knob, and vanished. She showed Marcus. He paused, frowned, then laughed. "Babe, that's you sleepwalking again." But Lena had never been sleepwalking. And even if she had, she didn't have hands like that. The next morning, Lena called the police. Not emergency, just a concern. 2 officers came. They looked around, smiled politely, treated her like she was a tired housewife in a quiet suburb. But then Officer Harlow moved the water heater and saw it, a crack in the basement wall. Not a structural crack, a hole. Roughly cut, covered in dust and cobwebs, but just large enough for someone to crawl through. They shone a flashlight in, blankets, wrappers, empty tins of food, and a smell, sweat, mold, human. "Looks like someone's been squatting," one officer said, but the previous owners had moved out 8 months ago. The officers said they'd file a report, said they'd pass it on to someone else, but no one came back. No one called? Marcus was away on business now. Left that afternoon for a 3-day trip. Lena asked him to stay. He kissed her forehead and said, "It's just an old hole. You'll be fine." But when the sun set, the basement began to breathe. She could feel it, like lungs beneath the floorboards. The cold moved through the air vents, and something whispered her name. The next day, Lena went to get something from the pantry. Bread, that's when she found it, folded between 2 bags of rice. A note. Yellow, dirty. Dropped the note, slammed the pantry door, and ran upstairs. The police had searched the house. She and Marcus had unpacked everything. That note hadn't been there before. Whoever was in the basement wasn't just hiding. He was moving. That night, she didn't sleep. She sat on the floor outside the basement, a kitchen knife in her lap. She watched the door, listened. At 3:12 a.m., it creaked. Not fully, just enough. Enough to say, "I'm here." She opened the door, slowly, one step at a time. Flashlight shaking, and that's when she saw it. The trapdoor in the floor, the one Marcus had sealed shut with a padlock, was open. She crept closer. The air was heavier now, warmer, like the breath of something alive. She leaned over, looked down into the trapdoor. Pitch black, but not empty. From the dark, something moved. And then, a whisper, right in her ear. Still, hungry. Watch out for final part. The wall behind the water heater. Premieres. This Friday, subscribe to Beyond Filmz so you don't miss what's crawling beneath your home. The Stranger in the Basement, Part 3. The wall behind the water heater. Previously, Lena discovered something was living beneath her home. Not a rat, not a squatter, but someone or something that watched, listened, waited. The police found a tunnel, but they didn't block it. And Lena found a note in her pantry, a message from the dark. And last night, the trapdoor she thought was sealed was open and breathing. Lena stood above the trapdoor. Her hands shook, flashlight in one, kitchen knife in the other. A whisper had just brushed her ear. A voice, hungry, male. She took a deep breath and then climbed down. It wasn't a basement anymore. The smell is rot, sweat, something sour. And then, something clicked behind her. She spun around. The trapdoor had shut. She moved forward, step by step. The beam of her flashlight caught something strange. Drawings, hundreds of them, covered the stone walls, made in charcoal, blood, and something else. Each one showing the same thing, a woman sleeping. A man standing over her, over and over. The same image, only the woman was her. In one corner, a mattress, a bucket. A calendar carved into the stone. Hundreds of days, scratched off. Then from the shadows came the voice. Stranger, gravelly, slow. I told them. I liked it here. Narrator. She turned. There he was, pale. Hair like string, eyes cloudy but locked on her. He wasn't just hiding. He had lived down there. He stepped forward, unarmed, calm, as if this was his home. And she was the intruder. Stranger, you ruined it, you brought them. Now I have to start over. Narrator. Lena screamed, swung the flashlight. Connected, he dropped blood on the floor. She ran. She didn't head back up the trap door. She couldn't. It was sealed. Instead, she turned into the tunnel behind the wall, the same one the officers had found. She crawled, knees scraping rock, breath ragged. Behind her, eye footsteps. Not rushed, not desperate. Rhythmic. He was following her. Not fast, like he knew she wouldn't get far. Lena emerged into the basement. The tunnel led out behind the water heater. She gasped, ran upstairs, grabbed her phone, dialed 99. The police came this time with backup. They searched the tunnel. They found the room, the drawings. The man? Gone. No trace. Not even blood. Lena and Marcus moved out a week later. Left the town, changed numbers, started over. But last night, 3 months later, a woman named Emily moved into the house. She posted on Facebook, "Cute house, creepy basement though LOL. Found this weird note in the pantry. Anyone know what it means?" The note? "I miss her, but you'll do." And just like that, he found someone new. the end? Subscribe to Beyond Filmz for more chilling original stories. Have a theory about who he was? Comment below. New twisted tales drop every week.